I'm going to be trying a new little series about how to structure yourself around fulfilling a particular role or purpose upon the field of battle. These are in no particular order, but will likely come out in accordance to my favorites. If you haven't exactly caught on yet, that means this one is my current favorite playstyle. There's no official names, so I'm just gonna go take it upon myself to pick the coolest ones I can think of at the given moment. Starting out stronger than a mule kicking you in the nuggets, we're calling this one the Enforcer. As the Enforcer, you stand head and shoulders above everyone else, being a walking artillery piece made of brute strength, heavy explosives, and synthetic Tyrannosaurus meat. Your job description is as follows. Locate the largest enemy unit in the area and annihilate it with extreme prejudice. Your life's purpose has now been changed from whatever boring thing it used to be to biting off more than you can chew time and time again and asking for seconds. You enable your team to move freely and avoid certain death by taking out massive priority targets including, but not limited to, Chargers, Bile Titans, Hulks, tanks, dropships, and the like. Your job also includes handling destructible objectives, such as propaganda towers, spore spewers, mortars, anti-air, and laser cannons. Essentially, you're the big brother of the battlefield, protecting the little ones from all the monsters. Your stratagem selection will vary, but it will all have the same intention. You are handing out hospital bills and funeral invitations for the big guys. None of those strafe runs or stalwarts. That's for the other people to handle. They're the ones doing cleanup crew. Your money makers are going to be things like EATs, recoilless rifles, rocket pods, rail cannon or standard orbital strikes, mechs against bugs, the occasional railgun, but not the spear. If it gets a few adjustments like a better lock-on and a possible ammo increase, it'll start to shine more against bots, but it's simply not all there currently, and you're just harming yourself by using it. If you settle on the recoilless rifle like I more often than not do, remember that you've got a long, stationary reload after firing. It does happen procedurally, so you don't have to do the full animation, as it's done in 3 segments. You will take the spent round out, drop the new one in, and then close the hatch. If you do something to cancel the reload after a step, it won't reset the entire reload like most games. For example, if I take the round out, I drop the new one in, but I don't close the hatch, I dive out of the way. It's still considered as that round is in there, all you have to do is close the hatch. My stratagem loadouts for clankers are going to look something like railgun, EATs, rocket pods, and a 500 kilogram bomb. My stratagem loadouts for roaches will look like a recoilless rifle, mechs, a rail cannon strike, and the last one's pretty variable because it's mostly for area clearing, but I usually just go with a 500 kilogram bomb there as well. If you're curious about the armor and standard weapon choices, I'd honestly say that's up to your preference because the stratagems are the big weight carriers here. But here's what I use and why in case you're interested. For the clankers, it's the Scorcher, Senator, impact grenades, and any fashion of servo-assisted passive so you can have increased throwing range. I like this combination because you can handle every possible problem in multiple ways, so you're never really hung out to dry. Anything big with heat coils in the back, you can break it with a Scorcher or impact grenades. If you don't want to dance around targets, you have your faster options. You can quickly take out Hulks and Devastators with an overcharged railgun shot to the head. You can use EATs to take down dropships and outpost objectives like anti-air or mortars. You delete tanks, laser cannons, and factories with the rocket pods, and clear out large objectives like scanner towers with the 500 kilogram bomb. It's a very balanced way to be a nightmare to the most impactful things on the map. The other side of the coin, fighting against roaches, isn't so balanced. It's instead focused very heavily on your recoilless rifle instead of cycling through weapons and whatnot. I use the Defender, Senator, and impact grenades while wearing armor with either an engineer or medkit passive. That's up to you whether you want more grenades or more stims on yourself. This is a very run and gun centered design. Our goal with this is constantly be on the move, only braking to fire and reload the launcher. The recoilless rifle will one-shot chargers if you hit them in the head, and it's usually 2 for Bile Titans. For chargers, it's easy. Get them to target you, and they'll bring their head straight in line when they're running, so you can rip it right off. If they're close, I wait until the Titans rear back to spit, and then uppercut them with the missile. Even if you miss the head, it'll stagger them, and you can use that to save a teammate who's running for your life, or break for your own. The impact grenades come in here because they're pretty good at killing where armor has been broken off, should you need to do it in an emergency. It'll also destroy spore spewers and propaganda towers at any range, that being the recoilless or the impact grenades. Your mech should be used if you need to clear an incredibly large amount of enemies, such as a large nest, civilian defense, or holding for extract. Remember, you get 2 of these a game, and it's a very long cooldown, so try to use your first one by however long you figure it'll be for the match to be halfway done. Because, you'll want to use them both, right? Save your missiles for bug holes, chargers, and Bile Titans, aiming for heads all the same you would with the recoilless. Use your rail cannon strikes as soon as you see a Bile Titan. Chargers are basically a free kill on sight once you recognize their movement patterns. They don't pose any real threat to you. The 500 kilogram bomb is for area clearing and emergencies. If you prefer a different method to handle that, by all means. But remember, you're killing small enemies for the sake of convenience and separation to get your launcher back online. Try to have a teammate around you to clear the nuisances. It makes life so much simpler. On to the cut and dry benefits and drawback portions. The good first. Damn, is it fun. You have arguably the most important role to fulfill in breaking down chief threats on the map. I love that kind of pressure. Possibly my favorite perk of the job is the massive explosions you get to see on a near constant basis. When you do hit a dropship, titan, tank, spore spewer, etc., it's such a good feeling watching the impact and seeing these Goliaths come crashing down. It really makes you feel like you're the final boss when you're going toe-to-toe with these behemoths and you are dragging them through the mud. It's really just a who will flinch first test, and it's not gonna be you. There's also the incredible satisfaction of running in to make game-changing and life-saving plays, doing things like sliding in between a charger and your teammate and intercepting that thing. With all that fun, there are still a few less than subtle drawbacks. Despite also being a benefit for some, having a very impactful job that puts a lot of pressure on your shoulders can be rough for others. If you start lacking, everyone on the team notices because the enormous threats that they don't have the weapons to beat are still roaming freely. You will be regularly engaging the most dangerous targets, so you'll be running significantly more risk than you would in a standard bout with a machine gun or otherwise. Another big downside is found in your reloads. Realistically, you're not always getting fast team reloads, so you need to be smart about moving around and creating safe spaces for you to stop for a while. All things considered, I would say the impact you have is a net positive, despite the difficulty that comes along with it. Quick recap. You kill the enemies and their resources that the normal players don't have the ability to break down. You are to demolish every massive threat within your area of operation so your teammates can clear objectives and standard enemy units unhindered. The protection of the team is in your hands, which is both a great deal of pressure but a very honorable responsibility nonetheless. Much alike we should all do in the outside world, the capable are to help the less able when provided the opportunity. That's all I've got for you guys today. Hopefully you like this idea because I'm going to be making a few of them. Drop some of your favorite ways to deal with the big guys in the comments. Maybe you help someone out who's just scrolling through. As always, thank you for your time. Take care of yourselves and have a good night.